Greetings from chess.com. Today is the birthday of Indian Grandmaster Abhimanyu Puranik. He's from Maharashtra, and it is my pleasure to take you through some of his accomplishments and also revisit some of his best games. So without further ado, let's get started. He was born on 11th February, which means he turns 21 today, and he started chess quite early at the age of 5.5, and he learned chess under C.S. Gokhale and Jayant Gokhale. They are very popular trainers in Maharashtra, and he already won the under 7 world school championship with a perfect score of 9 out of 9. That tells you about how talented Abhimanyu is. And later he also got a bronze medal in world under 10, and then after that he also got his IM norm in 2012. After getting the IM norm, there was a gap of 3 years, and then he made his second IM norm and third IM norm in quick succession in Kolkata and Mumbai in 2015. But by the time he made those norms, he was already quite close to the Grandmaster strength, and the results showed. In 2016, he made his first GM norm, and then next year he also got his second and third GM norm, and thereby becoming India's 49th Grandmaster. So his present rating is 2584 and is one of the strong Grandmasters of India. And in 2018, he won the silver medal in the World Junior Championship. And there's also a game that he played against Firouzja. We'll look at it very soon. And if you look at his games, they have a flair of a lot of attacks. And I have personally picked a few games from the games that he sent. So we'll go to the chess side of it now. But before we go there, let me share you the list of his favorite chess books. Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, My Great Predecessors by Garry Kasparov, Domination in the Endgames, it's a book of studies. And then there's Imagination in Chess by Nana Gaprindishvili, again full of a lot of chess positions, middle game positions, combinations, and there is Russians versus Fischer. Out of these books, I have read a bit of Domination, and of course I have visited Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual and the My Great Predecessor series. And when I was around 13 or 14, I also studied Imagination in Chess. If you want to train your tactical skills, I think that's a very good book. Now let's go to the chess side of it. Here I have the game between Abhimanyu Puranik and Timoshenko, and in this position you can see after d takes e4, the queen was hanging and Abhimanyu put his queen to c6. So this game is a story of a pin, not just one, it's actually a story of two pins that you will see. After queen c6, his opponent played knight b5 to protect his queen. So in this position Abhimanyu played a very nice move, rook takes knight, and after a b5, bishop b5, the queen actually has no decent square. d2 is under black's bishop's observation. You cannot really move the queen to e1, you cannot move the queen to c2, so the rook has to come in between. And now what do you do with the pin piece? You attack the pin piece, and then he plays queen takes e4. Now this is the first pin I'm talking about, but there is also a second pin. Now after rook f d1, he finished the game with knight c5. There is no way for white to defend this rook. If white goes knight to e1, there is simply bishop takes e1. You eliminate the defender and you pick up the rook on d3. So this is a very nice cute segment featuring pins. Let's check another game, and this time it's Alireza Firouzja who is white, and this happened in World Juniors 2018 in a rapid event, I think. No, it's a World Juniors event, classical event. So here in Firouzja's game, Abhimanyu chose the Accelerated Dragon, which is one of my favorite openings. This is the Marozzi bind. You see the c4 pawn and e4 pawn. They are keeping an eye on the d5 square, thereby establishing a bind. And after castle, he goes bd7. The idea is to go knight d4 and put this bishop to c6 to attack the pawn on e4. And in this position, Alireza played knight c2, preventing that. And then Abhimanyu followed a very basic plan that's very common in Accelerated Dragon, to play a5, a4 and get the queen to a5 and rook to c8. He does that very effortlessly. And I'm now coming to the critical position after f4. What would you do as black? This is actually the right moment to play knight b4, and Abhimanyu does that. And after knight b4, queen b4, the pawn on c4 is under attack. So b3 becomes a necessity. Then after a b3, the pawn on b3 is also a weakness to a certain extent. Then came rook a3, and after queen c2, again it's a good moment to see what you would do as black. So all the themes that are generally common in Meroxybine of the Accelerated Dragon are featured in this game. That is why I like it very much. Here, one idea is to play bishop into c4, but Abhimanyu played b5, and it's also very nice because b5, d5 or f5 are three possible pawn breaks that could come in the Meroxybine positions, and Abhimanyu got the b5 break. And after bishop c1, he put his rook back to 8, and then after f5, he got his bishop back to d7. Now with these moves, what happens is now e5 square is in black's control, and maybe black can plant a knight on e5, and then it cannot be shaken from there. And after bishop d2, he played queen c5. The next critical moment came after rook e1. White has double bishop advantage, but it's not really helping because black's pieces are so very active, and the rook on the 7th rank, queen on a very active position, and as I mentioned earlier, the knight is on a beautiful square on e5. Considering all the factors, it makes sense to eliminate this bishop, and so Abhimanyu played bishop f6 to exchange, and now it's going to be a battle of a good knight versus a bad bishop. And after bishop takes f6, ef6, after bishop f1, king g7, he played a few static moves to improve his position, and then eventually won the game. Here Firouzja got a little desperate and sacrificed his exchange, but that did not help him to save the game. After d5, queen a5, the final shot I think came here after queen c1 check, queen c1, king h2. This pawn seems to be running away, but black has it all in control. He plays queen d2, and after bishop d5 he plays queen a5, and then after c5 he does one last trick, which is f3. Now no matter what move white makes, queen c7 check is coming, and if you play c6 here, f2 is coming, and if you play bishop f3, there is check and this pawn falls, and that is the end of the game. I would like to show you another game played by Abhimanyu against Tabatabai Amin. This is a position in which his opponent has just played bishop into b3, and take your time to play the best move in this position. What would you do as white? Here you can see that the rook is lined up. The bishop is also very much hoping to come into the game. You know, it can create some threats if the knight goes to f6, and this knight is also, you know, in a very good position. It can directly come to e4 and threaten dangerous check on f6. The first move that Abhimanyu does is queen h5. He has a simple threat of queen takes h6, and after rook a4, there is also another idea. The reason he plays queen h5 is also making way for the pawn on f4 to join. Now knight takes f4 in this position is not possible because of rook takes g7. This is the point. I was saying that the bishop is already active here. After king takes g7, he is having e6, and then after king g8, queen takes f7 is a checkmate. So queen h5 is a very nice move, which I liked, and after rook a4 he played f5, and after knight g5 he went e6, and after c6 again it's a good moment to see what you would do as white. Abhimanyu finished off the game in style with bishop takes g7, and after king g7 he went f6 check, and after king h7, I hope you see the advantage of this spin is that rook takes g5 wins on spot, and here after queen c7 check, g3, black resigned. So those were some of the interesting moments that I picked to show from the games of Abhimanyu Puranik. Special thanks to Abhimanyu for sending us those games. Abhimanyu, happy birthday to you. I hope that this year goes well, and you get all that you want to do, and I hope that you also reach the 2600 mark very soon, and wishing you all the best. And dear viewers, I hope you learned a thing or two from Abhimanyu's journey, and I hope these games inspired you to improve your chess. I'll be back with another video soon. It's a good moment to hit that like and also subscribe to our channel. I'll be back again. Until then, take care. Bye bye.